Well, hello, hello, hello. We are going live. We're live and live and live. My name is Soraya Otana. I am your number one relationship and life designer. And so I'm so excited that you're here because today we're going to be talking about a topic that is so critical that that we get to study, we get to deepen what is it that we are doing, and what we want to understand is how we're wired, right? We're going to talk to you about 3 reasons of letting go, 3 reasons why you will want to forgive anybody in your life. And when we talk about this topic, I know it's a very touchy subject because if somebody has ever done anything to you, if somebody has done you wrong, if somebody said the right thing, if life threw you a curveball and somebody was the executor of that curveball, if somebody punished you unnecessarily, unfairly, if somebody took advantage of you, there are many reasons why we would want to hold a grudge. There are many reasons why we would be right about not letting go, about forgiving. And that's what we're talking about here today. So if you have ever found yourself in a difficult moment wanting to forgive, then this is the time here for you. We're going to be here for a few minutes, taking a deeper dive on the topic of forgiveness, of letting go, and how you can be free, right? Because what happens is that when we go through life is going to be rough. Life is going to be tough. And regardless of where you landed, right? Maybe there was a place where you were born where circumstances were not on your favor. Maybe you were born into a family that you did not choose, right? And I always say that life is like a game. And you probably didn't choose how the game started. You didn't choose who was on your team, who were the team members that you got. You did not choose what the game was about, right? Who were the team players? What were the rules of the game? What was the playbook? Probably you didn't get a copy of that. However, you were thrown into that. And regardless of what happened, and maybe you didn't have a lot of choosing, well, if you're here today, it's because this is halftime. And at halftime, you get to choose. At halftime, you get to decide how life is going to be moving forward. You don't know how long the game is going to go for. You don't know what all it entails, but you can choose to be in the winning team. You can choose new ground rules. You can choose how the game is going to be played. So no matter what happened to you, no matter what your upbringing was, no matter what somebody might have done to you, then today is your day where you can make a choice to do something different for you, to set yourself free, because it is possible. And this reminds me of one lady that once called me, right? Coming from my practice, wanting help. And I had run an ad, and somebody called me and said, hey, I'm wondering if you can help me, because I am going through this is my 3rd time that I am going through cancer. This time I'm in stage 3, and it's really bad. And I have defeated cancer over and over again, but it has come back. And this is going to be my Christmas. And I am very sad to report to my kids who are going to come and visit me that this is my inheritance to them, that I am passing it down to them. And I don't know how to deal with that. I don't know. There's so many questions. I'm going for surgery and so forth. And when I spoke with her, I noticed that she had an accent, right? And I said, where are you from? And when we started into that conversation, she said, very adamant, and she said, I don't want to talk about that. I'm from a country where I had so much pain that I don't want to talk about it. And she totally closed off on that. And right away, I knew that a lot of her problems stemmed from a lack of forgiveness, from something that had gone wrong in her life, from something, I don't know the details, but something happened, as it happens in probably your life, in my life. Things happen, crud happen. And she had already harbored all of that for her life. She said, I came when I was a teenager. She was already in her upper 50s. So she had spent a whole life holding grudges to whatever it was that the people that had done to her, that had affected her. And she was holding into those grudges, and she lived a life of resentment, a life of unforgiveness. And the problem with that is that when we do that, we become trapped into the spider web of all that brings to your life, right? I always say that there is a dividing line from the things that you want, which are above the line, from the things that you don't want, which are below the line. And all the terror, the failure, the fighting, the struggling, the defeat, the lack of forgiveness, the grudges, all of that is below the line, right? And above the line are those things that you and I were designed for. We want peace, we want joy, we want love, we want connection, we want enjoyment, we want success, right? Those things are above the line. The way I put it, God lives above the line. And when we make our living being below the line, then life doesn't work for us. There's only survival. And the problem with holding grudges is that it keeps you below the line. It keeps you in that prison. And by you holding a grudge, right, we've all been there. By us choosing to hold a grudge, then we are bringing toxicity into our body, because that's what happens. Our mind is releasing toxicity. We have neurotransmitters, right? We have hormones that are being released. We have cortisol. We have adrenaline that are not purpose for the long run. They are purpose to keep you safe for a short period of time. If you need to encounter a difficult situation, right? I either fight, I either flee, or I either freeze. Right? So that is what it's designed to do. But when we are using those toxins and releasing it in our body, it causes cancers, it causes arthritis, it causes your body to decompose internally, because the releasing of those hormones are affecting you. And this is a true fact. You can look it up. Science is something that has taught us in this 21st century what we didn't know before. So you can look it up, research it, all the damage that is done to your tissues, to your cells, by us living below the line. And one of the main cause and the main culprits of this is a lack of forgiveness, is holding a grudge. So I get it that maybe something happened in your life, maybe something unforgivable, if you will. Somebody really, really crossed the line with you. Or so you think, right? So either was that reality, or you also did happen to you and then you exacerbated it, or you created a bigger story that you probably don't even realize. And it has affected your life to the degree that you are not free today. So if you're listening to this is for you. There is freedom available. And I'm going to give you the 3 reasons why you want to let go, the 3 reasons why you want to forgive when something has happened to you, when life has treated you not the way that you expected it, right? So reason number 1, it is what I just spoke about, is your health. Your health is the one thing that you cannot go shop in Amazon. You cannot go to the store, and you cannot order online. You cannot go drive anywhere. You cannot go across the world to buy, right? Your health is precious. Your health is a gift. And if you don't take care of it, you don't know how long you're going to be on the planet, right? I don't know about you, but I want to live a long life, but I don't want to just live a long life. I want to live it filled with vitality, with energy, right? It's not the same to be a long life on a wheelchair, right? Or a long life paralyzed in a bed, versus a long life where you're doing the things that you want, where you're with your family, where you're scratching things off your bucket list. There is an entirely world of difference. And who makes that difference? It's you. It's the choices that you make. So your health is paramount. You want to take care of your health by you letting go, by you choosing to let go, by you coming to terms that whatever happened, the best thing about the past is that it is over. It's gone. You don't need to relive it again. And what's happening is that you're reliving it every single time, because the way that our mind works is that our mind and our eyes are not only absorbing information from the outside, but our minds are projecting information, right? Your own interpretation of the world, you're seeing it. And our mind thinks mostly in pictures, in images, right? If I say right now to you, whatever you do right now, don't think about a white cloud. Whatever you do, as I talk to you, do not think about a white cloud, because white clouds are not the topic of our conversation today. Do not be thinking about a white cloud, right? Now, if I ask you, what were you just thinking, or what images were crossing through your mind's eyes, you're probably going to tell me a white cloud, right? The concept of it was present, because that's what the mind does. It thinks in images. So what happens with the things, that the events that happen in our life that marked our lives, and in this case, we're talking about something negative, right? A memory that we are experiencing, that something that happened created the memory. Now, here's another parenthesis on this. Anytime that there is an event going on and it's a heightened level of emotion, is going to seal it. And we call that like a memory that is impregnated in your mind, and you cannot let it go. You cannot forget it, right? If it's good, we call it a great memory, like the day of your wedding, or the day your baby was born, or one of these events, right? But if it's negative, we call it trauma. And that's how this runs. That's how this rolls. So if you're looking through the pictures of your mind and they're present, here's the other part. Your mind doesn't know if that which you're putting in front of you is real or not. If it happened 20 years ago, it's going to happen tomorrow, or you're just imagining, or if it's a dream, you are feeling that. You're going to feel those emotions, right? Because the mind doesn't understand that subconscious mind doesn't understand the concept of time. It's whatever I put in front of it right now is the experience that I am going to have. So, question for you. Have you ever had a dream that it was so vivid that you woke up and maybe you were dreaming of somebody that was no longer with you, or maybe you were being chased, or maybe whatever the dream was, you woke up and you were so into the dream that you were feeling the emotions. Probably you were agitated. Probably you got anxious. Probably you were happy, whatever. You felt that, right? Because that's how the subconscious mind works. It didn't matter if it happened or was real or not. Whatever we put in front of our mind's eye, it's going to experience, it's going to feel, and it's going to be followed by the release of those hormones and endorphins, which are going to, in turn your up to be above the line, or to be a downward spiral and go below the line. So that's how we are wired, right? So your health is the number one reason why you would want to let go. Number two, because the past has gone. The past is over. Because no matter what happened, if you learn to let go of the past, you can write a new future. Your life doesn't need to resemble how it was. It doesn't need to be a prophecy of your biography. Biography is not prophecy. What you lived in the past doesn't mean that that's the life that you can have unless you choose it. So you get to choose. You get to say, you know what? I'm going to write a different story, because the one that I lived, however the circumstances, I'm done. The past is gone. I cannot change the past. And when I work with people, I had somebody that came and we do a 2-day intensive where we rewire a lot of your brain and your mind. And in this 2-day intensive, I was talking to somebody and I said, can you change? We're talking about this topic, right? And I said, can you change the past? And she said, no, this happened and this happened, right? Yes, we cannot change the past, but you can change. Here's something. Okay. So listen very carefully, because this is a true statement. You cannot change what happened, but you can change in the past, right? But you can change the past in your mind. You can change what happened in here. How, you may ask? By reframing it, by giving it a different meaning, right? If you read the great Viktor Frankl and the book Man's Search for Meaning, you're going to find that he was turned to the concentration camps back in Germany. And this is a man that was a psychiatrist. He was a doctor. He was educated. He had done a lot of work and research and papers when the Nazis came knocking on his door. And to his demise, they took him and his wife and all to a camp, right? And all that he could gather was grab a coat, and he stuffed papers of all the whatever he could grab and put his hands onto. And then he went to the camp. What do you know that at the camp? Well, we know the story, how this story rolls, right? Everything, he stripped from everything. And so from his wife, they killed his wife. They stripped him from everything, his dignity, his belongings, everything that he was as a human being, right? Yet he wrote in this book, and he said what he calls the ultimate of man's freedoms. And he said, you know what? They may take away my research, my papers, my life research, right? My work, my wife, my dignity, my clothes, my everything. What they will never, ever be able to take away is the freedom of me choosing how I am going to feel at any given time. And that's what we're talking about here. Regardless of what happened in the past, you can be free. Yes, you can. Hashtag, yes, you can. Right? And the number third reason why you will want to let go is because this ties me to my last point, because you can be free, because the past has been gone, because you can live a life of freedom. You don't need to get your body sick, your body diseased, because you're holding and holding and holding. And somebody said that you holding a grudge is like you drinking poison and expecting that person that you're holding the grudge against to drop dead. That's what happens. That's exactly what happens. Another way of saying it is you keeping that person in a dark, moisty, dirty prison, right? So you can keep them there. The problem with that is all this ugly, and it's stinky, and it's smelly, right? And it's cold, and it's humid. The problem with that is that you become the seller. And now you are the one that is keeping them there and making sure they don't go anywhere, but you're right there next to them, rotting with them. And I've seen them time and time again. And I know that this happens to you and me, because every day somebody is going to do something to you. As long as we are wearing skin, this is going to happen. When you get your own planet, you can make your own rules. But as long as you are in proximity with people, you're going to be experiencing conflict. You're going to be experiencing difference of opinion, and you are going to be trapped into the illusion that by you holding them prisoners, you holding the key, they are being purchased. They're tortured. No, it is you who's being tortured. That's why it's so critical, important that you choose to let go. Because when you are being in that space, when you're holding that grudge, when you're not forgiving, when you're not releasing that person, what's happening is that you really become the character. You become a character in somebody else's story. But my invitation to you today is to become your own main character in your story, to be the star of your story, to let go, because that's what God already made provision for. It's a choice. It's not a feeling. It's not just letting go, because many people say, well, if I let go, it would be like justifying and saying that what they did was right. It is not right. And we're not talking about us making that right. We're making a choice to be free. Would you want to be free? I know I want to. I know I've been there. I've crossed the bridge. I've had people in my life that I wish I could take them up in the stakes and burn them right there. And I've had the desire, and many times I was able to press a button that would damage their public identity, right? Or something that I could Sometimes I wish I grab a key and scratch the car, right? I'm human, but I'm telling you, I made choices and I made decisions not to do it because in the inside, because of what I've been feeding myself, because God speaks to me and says, that's not the way to go. You know what? I make choices. I make choices that are going to put me above the line because that's what I want to do. Above the line is the place where you want to live, where you and I want to live. So if you're listening today to this, to this Autana TV, you're going to see an episode every week. You get a choice. You have a choice to step into freedom. We're not making right what happened. However, we cannot change the past. What you can change is how you view the past and the meaning that you ascribe to that. And when you do, freedom awaits you. You can make better choices. And you know, when you have forgiven somebody, when you have the ability to bless them, when you can close your eyes and you can pray for them and you can, from the bottom of your heart, bless them. I've been there. I've done that. And it doesn't matter what the size of fault that has been happened to us, right? You can be free. So my invitation today is for you to choose a life that you love, to choose freedom, to choose for you to write a different story because you only live once. And the matter is that we're all going to go to the tomb. We're all going to die. I have news for you. I'm going to die. I don't know when, but I'm going to die. And so will you. And how are you living these days? How are you going through every day? How are you doing in your relationships if you are limping emotionally because you haven't let go? So today you have that choice. And my invitation for you is to look up and say, you know what? I'm going to forgive. Lord, give me the strength. I am willing. And you making a choice, because some people say, well, Lord, if you want me to forgive him, you will take this away from me. It is a choice. It is a choice that you make. So you make a choice, you release them and you bless them and you say, I bless you. You actually say this, I bless you and I release you. And when you're able to do that, then you're free. Then you know you have overcome. Then you know that you're moving above the line. And that's the place where you want to be. So excited that you're here. And if you're having challenges, forgiving, letting go, letting the grudge go, if you really have somebody stuck, well, reach out, because together we can do it. Together we can pave the way so that you can experience that freedom that God already called you to step into. Okay. Well, this is Soraya Autana. I am so excited and grateful that you're here. And I'm going to see you next Monday at 6 p.m., 6:30 p.m. And we're going to spend a few minutes designing a life you love, talking about relationships, talking about personal development, giving you tools so that you can move above the line. So happy that you're here. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on our next episode. Ciao, ciao.